Hey everybody, welcome to Bish's RV. My name's Josh the RV Nerd. I'll be a little bit of your guide today. This is the model right here that kicked off one of the biggest trends and floor plan families in all of bunkhouse camping out there. The 2800 Imagine is possibly the most cloned and copied bunk model I think I've ever seen. Technically speaking, way back when Sabre first launched, they kind of pioneered some of these concepts, but it was almost like forgotten. And then Imagine came out of nowhere with this thing and just rethought the bunkhouse layout. And what this provides is plenty of nice space on a rainy day. You still have the double bunks to take care of the kids, but you have a door right next to the bathroom, not in the bathroom, but next to the bathroom, which cuts out so much annoying, dirty foot traffic from your travels. Also, very direct viewing entertainment center and a ton of storage in this thing. That's something. Imagine is probably one of the very best brands out there overall on average for like really good storage and really big effective awning spaces, and they do both of those things really well here. What I like about this though is not just the cosmetic updates. I love the fact they finally got rid of the carpet in the slide. I can't believe how long they did that. No more carpet in the slide. Woohoo! But this is the full Imagine. So it also has things like a barreled ceiling, which really opens the space up, which is really nice. Really helpful in the shower if you're taller like me, by the way. But the pots and pans storage under the kitchen counter, the heated enclosed belly, the Goodyear tires, the upgraded MoreRide suspension package, like a fifth wheel on a travel trailer, plus the better Goodyear tires and the anti-lock braking and the electronic anti-sway. There's some awesome towing and going safety and comfort features behind your family with this thing. So it doesn't just look good. This is something that's made to be used, enjoyed to the absolute max. And that, I think, is one of the best ways I can describe what makes Imagine different from so many brands. As we go, let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't. And if you appreciate how we show you the good with the bad, because it's got some hiccups for sure. Hit that subscribe button. Know that we'll shoot you straight and treat you fair.
And I got to tell you, like when there's so many RVs that when you look at the brochure pictures of them, then you go see them in person, it doesn't look anything like that brochure. It's like like when you go to a fast food restaurant and you look at the picture of the burger in the menu, and then you look at the burger. I'm like, you guys lied to me. You lied to me so hard. When you check out and Imagine Grand Designs in general, they look pretty much like the brochures look. Like they don't sit there and doctor their photos all day. They just make the thing look good. I'm personally, I like this lighter but still wood toned kind of thing. It looks under the harsh white lighting sometimes a little bit washed out. If I'm not mistaken, they had like an adjustable, like you almost call it like an adjustable temperature on their lighting, where if you wanted to yellow it out a little bit, you could. When I get it, because there's certain areas like that kitchen countertop looks super flush and washed out. Let me get you actually right up here next to some of it, because that makes the camera read a little bit more natural. That's a little bit better approximation to the naked eye of what this is going to look like. Notice though that we're in a full Imagine today. So instead of like thermal foil counters, we have things like T-mold. No, we don't have T-molding. We have solid surface. Like you're going to get, there's a couple key upgrades in a few areas. One of the 2024 updates, or no, 25 updates, I don't even know what frickin' year it is anymore, is the larger 10 cubic foot 12 volt fridge. Frames up very nicely up there next to the TCL Roku Smart TV. Roku is my personal favorite kind of TV streaming platform. I've had some Fire TVs and they like to just fail to work sometimes. I don't know how else to say it. But like the little details, like you're going to see like every little space they could. They utilize some kind of storage. And actually, when we get back to the bunks, they found a pocket of storage they weren't using and they found a way to use it. But like right under the stovetop, you have that little toe kick right there. So you actually have like a nice little space basically to get in. And this floor plan allows them to use a non-laminated wall to bring some power outlets down where they're more easily accessed. Now, instead of doing a pop-up power tower here, they said, well, we've already got some household outlets. So they just added a wireless phone. Come on, touchpad. Well, this one's not working the way it's supposed to. Cool. Okay, there we go. I just didn't push it hard enough. I got to push it real good. The USB plugs there.
The funny thing is, a household outlet in the wall and a little USB plug in the counter costs less than one of those pop-up power towers. Yeah, the more you know. You know, you learn little things. Now, it doesn't have USB-C type plugs, but there you go. Now, one of the things that some builders of this layout will do is over here in this area, like right when you walk in the door, you'll have this big giant door. And there's a walk-in pantry behind the entertainment center. And it's really cool. Don't get me wrong. Imagine doesn't do it exactly that way, but the way they do it doesn't make me upset or sad in any way. We'll get back there. I'll open all the storage up for you in just a few minutes. Now, the bunks right here, again, there's going to be a small slight change, and I'm going to give you a visual sample of how they will change very shortly here. But each bunk has its own curtains, has its own lights, has its own power sources. The top bunk is USB, the bottom bunk is household outlet, so they're a little bit different. What they do not have, though, is that cargo bunk access door on the rear wall, because I don't know why. They just never have. And this floor plan has remained so popular, I think they just kind of went, well, people are happy with it as it is. Maybe we don't need to add that. It's always a feature that I would have liked to have seen, but they don't do it. So neither here nor there. Now you have a choice between a hide-a-bed or the theater seat. But one of the things I like about this, it's either cuddle compliant like we're looking at, or you can have a little bit more of a population control kind of situation, which also gives you a couple cup holders and 2 more little pop-up USB plugs right there. But again, trifold sleeper sofa is available. Personally, I like theater seating in this model because I feel myself like it already has enough sleeping in a lot of areas. But there are some folks who are like, yep, I absolutely need to pack everybody into this thing if I possibly can. Now, I think Imagine was one of the first brands to really kick off this trend of mounting the TV against the ceiling panels. And visually, when you're walking in the RV and shopping the RV, it looks really cool. When you're sitting down at the seating, the TV's up fairly high. But I got to tell you, I don't know that that's up much higher than my own TV in my house. Granted, my TV in my house is bigger than that. So maybe that's not an issue. I don't. Oh, by the way, this is 50 amp standard. It is prepped and ready for second air always. If it's not already installed from the factory, if you're shopping for one of these, you're like, I need that extra air conditioner. It's totally available. Now, this little space down here is going to change because right now that ladder goes all the way down to the floor. But right here, there's some wasted dead air space. The good news is I know exactly what it's going to look like. It's going to look like this. Now, I have jumped over to a different RV. Ignore that bench over there in the storage area. This is a different floor plan, but it will adopt the bunk setup we're looking at here, where basically the ladder only goes halfway down, which you couldn't use the lower ladder rungs anyway. They're mostly there for visuals, but you're going to gain a couple drawers. But one of the things that I really like about this is the drawers are right next to the door, and you don't want to rip your legs up. So what they did is they included almost like a aircraft style kind of latch handle system, so that storage is going to be there. It'll be available, but it won't rip your legs up if you walk past it too close. So that's what's going to happen over there. If we back up here, this has an uncommon but effective storage situation. By the way, if you're sitting over at the dinette and you want a better look at the TV, it can pivot around. So not like a, oh boy, kind of backflip thing, but I think it's important to kind of point that out. The pantry here is kind of like almost a horizontally stacked pantry. It's not just like a vertical cabinet we call a pantry. It's a little bit different, but it's undeniable. It provides a monster amount of storage, whether it's going to be food, dry goods, it could be clothing, it could be a little bit of whatever, you know. It's also really nice how they kind of tuck in and hide away the converter panel. It's easily accessed, but it's also out of the way so the kids can't mess up with the fuses. And in case you're curious, why is that one panel a dead pocket? Because it's a clutter cutter shoe garage right by the entry door. So you won't have to see a whole stack of shoes kind of laying around. It's just kind of a nice little touch like that. Big giant pots and pans drawer under the fridge, but also an even bigger, even better pots and pans drawer under the kitchen countertop over here with the light bright adjustable pegs. So you can really kind of customize that storage to really fit your stuff. Really one of my only nitpicks with this kitchen, like it has, I would say, minimal, but I can get by kind of countertop prep space, but no dedicated spot for wastebasket. Killing that shelf under the sink, I think would solve for that. But yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I can deal with it. I'll make it work. The countertop extension, the solid surface counter extension that we looked at, I'd probably just slide a trash can under that when I got there. I also really like the sliding privacy door they have for the bedroom on this because it's a big wide open door and it makes the living area look and feel nice and big. But when you want privacy, because those fitted sheets don't fold themselves, obviously. I mean, how else do the bunks get filled, really, guys? You get the idea. This though, this is or is not a U-dinette, depending on what you want to do with it, because you can remove a couple of the back cushions and you can slide the middle bench forward, which also has storage in it. And we'll get to that in just a second. Real quick, speaking of storage, the the benches basically have easy access storage, not drawers, but at least doors to get to everything. Magnet holdbacks, hidden hinges on everything, which is also nice. And it's funny when you pull that little floating bench out, the dinette looks and feels bigger. I actually think it's more functional without this in there. I think that you can actually sit more people in there. And this right here, it's not monster storage, but it's not nothing. They just don't waste the opportunity to do the things with it. 60 by 80 true queen bed up front. Currently, no king option, swaption, anything like that. And some people are like, why? Well, in factory production terms, that means that you have to build 2 sets of cabinetry for the bedroom. And it's the consistency of the fact that the cabinet shop gets to build the same thing all day, every day. That's one of the major quality factors that you get in an RV. Fewer options means fewer problems. And real quick, before I forget, 50 amp service is standard on these. Optional second centralized air, and you can always add that second air after the fact. It's always going to be prepped and ready for that. Now they do some pretty good storage. I actually think Imagine's one of the brands that does some of the best overall bedroom storage in terms of general ease of access. So you get the idea. I think it's really good overall. I like it. I don't need to over explain it. Oh, by the way, while I'm standing right up next to one of these, they've changed up their window treatments this year. Still some nice blackout roller shades, but they, instead of just like a circular round bar, they went with something a little more vertical, teardroppy for a weight at the bottom, and it doesn't bang against the side of the trailer as much, which is nice. And listen to this. It's not cheap plastic. Like it's simple, it's clean, it's not massive, it's not one of those stapled together leftover fabric valances that it's just a nicer thing. I like those small touch little execution points, like the way your overhead cabinet doors hold themselves so that you don't have to juggle it open with your head or anything like that. And you might have noticed the double dresser drawers that we looked at. There's 2 on each side. You can't quite see the bottom one from over here. You can see that CPAP kind of headphone or headboard power pocket charging station. God bless America, Josh. Use your words, dummy. But yeah, the drawers are some awesome storage. Now, this floor plan has a direct entry bedroom door, which is interesting because the 2600 Imagine, which is the no bunk version of this floor plan, does not. So that door provides us with access to the bedroom when the slides close, because otherwise we'll lose it. And I'll demonstrate that for you in a few minutes if you can hang tight with me. But the biggest reason it's there is because the other door is right next to the bunks. And if you try to sneak in at night and that door closes hard, you might wake the kids up, and then everybody's going to have a miserable day because nobody slept good. So the second door is there so that you can put the kids to bed and you can stay up and be adults and enjoy an adult drink around a campfire that hopefully you don't fall into, kind of thing. It just felt like that's where that conversation was going. And again, that floating bench, it could be anything. So if you get the hide-a-bed, but you get the dinette, you can still have a way to kick your feet up. Like, you're like, it's a theater seat. Why do I need to put my feet up on that bench? You don't with a theater seat, but if you have a hide-a-bed, you might. So that's where that might be an interesting way to still have a kick your feet up and relax station, even if you get the hide-a-bed. No peekaboo, I smell you bathroom door. I like a towel bar instead of a towel hook. That's my nerd preferred kind of execution right there. But it takes more space to accomplish that. But the barreled ceiling in this, because I don't use a fisheye wide angle lens, there's a reason that skylight looks kind of crooked, because it's following the taper of the ceiling and roof line. And that gives me the extra headroom where I can actually fit into this thing. because otherwise it would be a little bit of a problematic, which almost sounds like a board game from the 1980s. It's problematic. Oh, I'm tired. Anyway, the space around that porcelain foot flush stool is excellent. The enclosed shelving over here, let me open one up for you. It's not massive, but you know, it's just enough. If you needed some extra rolls of toilet paper, give you a place to put some shampoos and body washes and stuff. And this is, remember, we're in full imagine now, so it's solid surface counter. And that right there, I believe, is a stone cast sink, is what they used to call it back when I was a young man. They used to call that a stone cast sink. It's like, yep, Grandpa, remember to take your back pills. I don't know when or how it happened, but I'm starting to become an old guy in the industry. I remember that from over a decade ago. And it's true. It's not even me being stupid and me being a joke. It's just literally true. Like growing up, I used to joke to people when I was 18 years old. In my hometown, I used to go, you know, our Walmart, I remember when that was nothing but cornfields. And you know, when I was 18 years old and slinging chicken for Colonel Sanders, it was kind of funny to fire over the countertop to some old fella who'd been around this earth a few more times than me, a few more revolutions. But I realized at some point as I got older, it quit being funny and it just started becoming true. All right, travel access. Sorry, road mode, ladies and gentlemen. The kitchen is basically full send, brother. You can get to all the kitchen. This is a rack and pinion super slide, which is nice because it's reliable. It's low. It handles heavy weights for deep slides very effectively, but it doesn't like it when you sit in it while it's retracted. And this is kind of a good reason why. Because if you see, it's basically hovering above the floor. It's not actually supported. So you overstress the floor in a way it wasn't intended for. Now, this floor plan doesn't have a direct entry bathroom in the sense that it doesn't have a door in the bathroom itself. But you walk in the entry door and you walk straight into the bathroom, or the bunks are just over here on the left. So it's a very direct entry bathroom. Like if you can pick up the different emphasis on the different syllable right there. It cuts out so much dirty foot traffic from your RV, guys. If you've never camped before, you don't even realize all the crap you track into the RV. It is so nice to kind of limit that. Now we're sliding forward because, again, we need to see the fact that we can get to the bedroom. And apparently I didn't close up any of the storage space here. Now, sometimes people get spooked about having a door straight into their bedroom. I would remind you, you have a door just like this right next to your bunks for your kids. So if you're going to take a chance on them, take a chance on yourself. But remember, they both have deadbolts, so you don't have to worry about somebody coming in and watching you breathe in the middle of the night. Which kind of reminds me, one time my friend sent me a picture of this cat curled up sleeping on his chest when he was camping. He says, look at this. I go, that's really sweet. He texts back, he goes, yeah, but I don't own a cat. Now, one of the big questions people are going to have with this thing, can I half ton it? Can my half ton tow it? Most places are just going to tell you, absolutely, yes, no problem. Not a big deal. Maybe I'm a bit of a stickler. I think that there's some potential there. I think depending on, like, if you have a small family and you're going to mostly flatland tow, you have a late model tow package half ton, you're probably fine. If you have a big family, which is going to eat into your vehicle's cargo capacity, and you load that drop frame front storage compartment real heavy, you might run into a payload rating problem on your pickup. You probably won't run out of tow rating. You almost always run out of payload rating before you run out of tow rating. So kind of keep that in mind. The nose cap on the full Imagines looks amazing. And I don't even know how well it's picking up on camera, but the glow saber light beams in that nose cap to me just look fantastic. You can clearly see the look difference between the nose cap in the full Imagine and the aluminum sweep on the nose of the XLS. Technically speaking, that candy-coated fiberglass nose cap is basically just visual aesthetic. It doesn't really provide a lot of significant functional benefit. But man, it looks good. It looks really, really good. Whoa, I don't know why I never noticed this before. So you notice how there's two different shades of black almost, basically? So this is paint, automotive paint. This is like a truck bed spray-on liner. And if you look at where that's tracking, that's where vehicles are going to throw the most debris. So they're providing some extra protection on that nose cap. I just never really tuned into that before now. kind of cool. They have upgraded their solar package to be a little more on trend with industry standard, 200-watt panel up there. Nothing to like, wow, do backflips over. It's a solid battery tender, though. It's better than zero solar. Funny thing is, like, I don't boondock a lot. I would still personally want a little bit of solar on an RV that I personally owned. We have our Bish's, it's called RV Fix, like, remote service telehealth for campers kind of platform. And what we found is that low batteries are actually the reason the majority of perceived problems with RV electrical systems occur just because the battery got low while the RV was in storage. And it turns out nothing is actually wrong. So even a small solar package helps you avoid the majority of perceived problems. And the idea there is just that, like, if the RV's been in storage a while and you walk up to the tongue jack and you push the button, your expectation is that tongue jack's going to move. And a small solar package, taking care of the battery while it's in storage, make sure that that expectation is met, because RVs have so much modern tech now that is constantly trickle draw draining on the battery, some of which does bypass certain battery disconnects for various safety reasons. Batteries end up dead on RVs way more than they should. So that package prevents it. Now, when you go up to full imagine, your big front pass-through compartments, the drop frames have the nice slam latches and magnet holdbacks. Your XLS always has the magnet holdbacks. They just don't get the slam latches like this one. They also don't get the double-sized, double mint gum front pass-through compartment over here. And you might have noticed the motion lighting that kicked on earlier. Now, I'm going to pop a squat here real quick, try not to blow my knees out. Give you a look at the little sewer tube that's included with this. The steps for the bedroom, they do not use the folding stable steps so that you don't have steps making your bedding potentially dirty. Different brands do that different ways. Some brands still do it. Some people like it. Some people don't. Some people think cucumbers taste better pickled. I don't know. Solid awning space on here. They always do that. And the ride and safety gear on here is absolutely awesome. So we have Goodyear Endurance radials. We have the MORride suspension package, which is something almost no travel trailers have. And it's probably one of the best single pieces of equipment on this entire RV. And I'm willing to bet the absolute vast majority of people out there shopping travel trailers walk past it, never think twice about it. But if you want to keep an RV out of the shop, you keep it from getting rattled to death, and that blue thing between the tires does exactly that. Now, the red thing behind the tires is a double safety whammy. That is anti-lock braking and electronic anti-sway. Now, some other brands have the same Lippert factory standard ABS system, but they don't have the electronic anti-sway. That's an extra thing that has been adopted here on a bunch of Grand Design products this year. So that's a very, very cool feature, I think, to include and to talk about. Tankless on-demand water heater on the back behind the little mini camp kitchenette there. By the way, it's a 60,000 BTU variety. It should get to the bathroom pretty quick. It might take a little bit longer to get to the kitchen, so kind of plan accordingly. That's one of the I've heard that could be a bit of a challenge for people on the on-demand water heaters. I've not used one a lot personally, and I tend to park camp mostly with full hookups because I'm a pavement princess like that. So I don't boondock with the things. I don't have a lot of experience on that, but I've heard, it's like 50-50. It seems like some people like this water heater, some people like that water heater. I can't really get a consistent bead on exactly which one is the best and why. Now, we have a sewer hookup back here. It's been a little while since I saw this model. I can't remember if we have a kitchen gray tank outlet in the front. We do not. We don't. Ooh, that is good news. That means that you only have to hook up one set of sewer stuff and you don't got to hook, unhook, get a Y splitter, anything like that. That's just, again, it's just something that makes your camping experience simpler, better, easier. Now, the weather package on these. Manufacturer likes to use the phrase 4 seasons. That's okay. I don't like that phrasing because I think it sets a bad expectation. These are tested down to 0 degrees. They're tested up to 100 degrees, and they can handle that. Now, if you're going to be where it's negative 50, it ain't proven to work in those kind of temperatures. So use common sense and be aware there's no RV that is, quote, any weather, all weather capable. I feel very strongly about that myself. So thanks again for tuning in. I know I probably mentioned it a few times, but if you're like, I like this thing, but I don't need bunks. It's called the 2600. They make that too. They make the same living room, the same bedroom, the same kitchen. Just one has a full rear bathroom, and this one has bunks. Now, if you like this, but you're like, yeah, but I need it a little bit smaller. I have a video called the 2470 Imagine, which is a smaller version of this model. And if you want it smaller and no bunks, I have videos of those too. Tell you what, instead of listing them all out, take a look at the links in the description. Down there, you'll find links to get an idea for pricing, availability, and other models with or without bunks, a little bit smaller, that might work for you. And if you appreciate how we make that easy, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.